Hey, John Mayfield, the real estate tech guy for Global Real Estate School. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. It's Tuesday morning, and we're going live across a number of our social media platforms and outlets. I'm so excited that I mentioned in a previous broadcast that we have the entire new format, player. All of our courses have been updated. Still adding a lot of content, and that's why I'm doing live streaming today, because I have so much more available time, and I'm recording some new videos and updating some things. And believe it or not, I actually wanted to do some math today, and I thought to myself the other day, John Mayfield, why are you always drawing the T problem out and spending all this time drawing a crooked T and I'm a creative speller anyway, and probably incorrectly spelling some things, and I have all this mess going on across the whiteboard when I could create my own template and not have to draw that out. So it was like, I used to have a transparency like this when we used to use the transparency. So anyway, I think this will save us some time and allow us to have a little bit more fun. And hopefully we will also be able to get more math problems done. So again, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, be sure and do so today. Always appreciate that. Don't forget, I have podcasts you can listen to in your car. Had someone contact me yesterday about that. You can even buy my program, My Real Estate Exam Coach. If you just want the audios, go over to Global Real Estate School. They're great if you're exercising, out walking, whatever. I always try to, take care of a couple of items with one task. And so a lot of times I ride my bike here in the exercise room next to my office here. I'll ride my bike, and I bought this little stand at Amazon so I could put my iPad there, and I review the courses I'm creating so I can make notes of all the things I need to change or fix. So anyway, you can download the audios or purchase those over at Global Real Estate School. But we want to get into math, because I know that's what you want to watch, is how do I solve math problems, John? And this T formula, I did not develop it. I learned it from someone else. People have all kinds of methods and ways that they use to solve math problems. But to me, if you could draw the T problem out, and there's a couple of items you need to know, or that I like to remind myself. First of all, the smaller number always goes on top, okay? And the bigger number will always go down below. Now, you will notice here that the T gives us some math symbols. That's for multiplying. And so this up here tells us to divide. Okay, so those are important parts to the T problem that you need to remind yourself about. Let's just walk through one of these now that we know a little bit about the T problem. If I said to you, you were going to sell a $750,000 property, okay? And the commission rate, and we know commissions are negotiable. Would love for the guy who is the attorney for the class action lawsuit to know that I've been saying commissions are negotiable, and most all of the friends I know, we've been saying this for years and years and years and years, okay? Back in the 80s. So I don't know why the jury ruled the way they did, but commissions are negotiable. And so I'm just going to say, in this case, you're charging, or your office charges 7% based on all of the stuff that you provide your consumers. You know, I was just talking about marketing and branding during a coaching call that I had with one of my clients, and we were talking about marketing and how you can separate and be a little bit different in your strategy that you have to have. And so on my website, I have a strategy that I'm trying to convey to consumers who come to my Global Real Estate School website is that, look, I know you can go get a cheaper course out there from somebody else, okay? If you want to sit there and just look at a screen and read the words or hear a computer voice read to you or whatever, you can do that and you'll pay a lot less money. But if you want to go to my school and you want to watch me where I'm teaching you the topics and I'm the one that's going through examples throughout the course, and you want to have some tools to help you grow your business afterwards, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit more money, but commissions are negotiable. And so I just want to drive home the point here that we're going to charge 7% commission in this example. So what would the total commission be? Well, we have to ask ourselves, if we're looking for the total commission, that's what we're solving for. Look at this. Which would be the bigger number? Well, first of all, we know the rate is what? 7%. So we can put that right over here. Now, I just think it's always easier to move your decimal over 2 places. And if we do that, we have to stick a 0 out in front. Okay, so we're moving our decimal over. So really, this is going to be 0.07 or 7%. So we know that's out of the equation. So there's only 2 variables left: the total commission or the sales price. Well, are you going to earn more money than the sales price? I don't think so. So which one of these is the bigger number and which one's the smaller number? Well, I think the total commission would be the smaller number and the bigger number would be the sales price. Okay, so anytime you have, wherever you have the 2 variables from the problem or the 2 pieces of the puzzle from the problem, because that's all this is a puzzle, and I don't think I spelled that right, so I'll put P-U-Z. That's all that is a puzzle. We have these 2 pieces. What does our math tell us to do? It says multiply. So we are going to take 750,000 and we're going to multiply times 0.07, and that will give us $52,500. That's a typical softball commission question you could see. Now, let's take this a step further, okay? So I'm going to get rid of all of this. I think and now, while I have that there, I want to say if your broker, that's the total commission, if your broker gives you 30% as the listing agent for that transaction, how much would your commission be in that transaction? Well, let's take a look at this. So I'm going to get rid of the 52.5. So of the total commission, how much would your commission be as a listing agent? Well, are you going to earn more than the total commission? No, because you're only getting 30%. So we know what our rate is, don't we? 30%. And John says what? I say move it over 2 places. So you're going to put 0.07 0.30. The 52.5, the total commission would be now the bigger number. And the commission you're going to receive is what we're solving for. What does our math tell us to do? Our math says to multiply. So 52.5 times 0.30 is $15,750. $15,750. Commissions are always negotiable because your broker might pay you 40% or 25%, or you might get 90% of that total commission. Depends on what split you're on, but just remember commissions are always negotiable. I wrote an interesting blog post. Actually, I've written 2 blog posts in the last 2 days. One was on what's a great side hustle if you live in Hawaii. And I thought it was a pretty cool blog post. That's a great side hustle, isn't it? You go get a listing in Hawaii when that's probably the average sales price, and you work another job and someone else sells your listing that for your friends or someone you've met or generated through lead generation, and you just made an extra 15 grand. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, is real estate for me? It's a great side hustle for any age, for any location. Think about it. Great side hustle. Well, let's continue on here with a couple more. And this time, I'm going to just flip this around. We're going to ask a different question, but I want you to see how this T formula works. I know there's a way where I can get rid of these all at one time, but that's all right. We'll do that. Reminds me of the old days when I had to erase the chalkboard, and then I had chalk all over my hands, and my hands would get dry. I'm trying to talk to a classroom of students. Let's just say if you earned $22,383. That's what you earned as a commission. And your percentage was 40%. Your broker paid you 40%. How much commission did the office receive? Okay, so you earned $22,383. We're solving for how much was the total commission the office received. Well, do we know where our 40% goes? Absolutely. That's always a pretty easy one to solve. And I tell you to move that decimal over 2 places. So that's going to be 0.40. Now, which is going to be the smaller number? What you earned or what the office received? Well, if they're paying you 40%, what you earned is a smaller number, so I would put the $22,383 on top, and we're now solving for the bigger number. So that's our question. Mark goes there. So where do we have choices? We have these 2 items. So now what does our math tell us to do? It says to divide. And this top number always goes in the calculator first. So let's see if we can solve what the brokerage earned. $22,383. 22,383, and we divide. So press the divide button and now put in 0.40, and we get $55,957.50. That is how much the real estate office earned, and then they paid you 40% because commissions are negotiable, right? That's a test question. You'll see that on the exam for sure about commissions, and they are always negotiable. They're negotiable between the client and the broker, principal and the broker, and they're negotiable between brokerage offices. They're negotiable, and they're negotiable between agents inside the office and their broker. But there's a couple of ways how we've worked the T problems for commission problems. Now let's work one more. I want to work one more, and then we're going to wrap up our commission problems for today. So I just want to show you, these are, actually I'm going to work two more because I'm going to show you this other part of the T, and then I'm going to throw a hardball at you, okay? But you're going to be able to answer it because I'm going to walk you through this. So in this situation, if the brokerage earned $62,434, so this was the commission received, and the sales price was $1.2 million. The question is, what was the commission rate? Well, now we know what we're solving for, don't we? The commission rate. Do we know the bigger number? Absolutely. Goes right here. 1,200,000. Do we know the commission received? Absolutely. It's a smaller number, 62,434. What does our math tell us to do? It tells us to divide. Why do we divide? Because we have one piece of the puzzle there and one piece of the puzzle here. So remember, in order to multiply, we have to have both of the pieces down below, but we only have one top and one bottom. And which number goes in the calculator first? Well, it would be the top one. So I'm going to take 62,434, and I'm going to divide that by 1,200,000, and I get 0.05. Or when we move that over, we get 5%. Commissions are always negotiable. Now, I want to work one more with you, because here's how they may ask you in the problem. They may say something like this. They may say, if a brokerage earned $62,434 on a transaction where they charged 5%, okay, whoops, I've got another template you'll see there. Let's see here. There we go. So this is a typical way they may ask the question. If a brokerage earned $62,434 by charging 5% commission, what would they earn if they charged 6% commission? So in the problem, they're not giving you the sales price. They're just saying if a brokerage earned this much, charging 5%, what would they earn if they charged 6%? And the process here is that you now know the rate, don't you? We don't know this number, but we do know the rate's 5%, or we move it over 2 places. It's just, they're going to word this to where it's goofy and freaky. And so we have one on the top and one on the bottom. That tells us to divide. And so when we divide, we know, because we just worked this, we get 1,200,000, right? I'll just do that to make certain. I just threw those numbers out. I have no idea how that worked out to be. Well, it's 1,248,000. So we'll go ahead and put the 1,248,680. They'll always give you numbers on the exam that will work out. So now what you have to solve, and by the way, this will be answer A as a decoy. That's not the answer. That's wrong, right? So if you choose A, you just missed a question. Because they want to know what was the total, let me rephrase that. This is going to be answer A right here, because they're going to say, what if a property, the commission earned was $62,434 and you charge 5%, what would the commission be if you charge 6%? So they're going to throw that in as a decoy, and don't take that, okay? Now they want to know what's it worth if you charge 6%. So now we know our sales price. We work the first T. We know this is the second. They want to know now how much was the commission if they charge 6%. So we have both of our bottom ones, and now we multiply. And so the answer is $74,920.80. And that might be answer C, and that's the correct one, and you're going to get that right. Okay? And so you always have to look, key things to remember about this specific T formula. Let me just get rid of all of this. Is that you have to ask yourself a couple of questions. And by the way, we're going to flip this in one scenario, but you always want to ask yourself a couple of questions with the T formula. What's the smaller puzzle in the problem that I'm reading? And when I say puzzle piece, it's a dollar amount. What's the smaller number? And that's always going to go on top. See that? And what's the bigger number? And that's always going to go on the bottom. The rate's going to be pretty easy to figure out. And if you get 6%, just remember to move the decimal over 2 places, 0.06 in this case. We know commissions are negotiable. You won't miss that on the exam, right? And then understand that if you have one of the bottom and one of the top, your math tells you to divide. Okay? Now, if we had both of our puzzle pieces on the bottom, our math tells us to multiply. And so we can work this T problem in almost any scenario. Now, when we do the gross rent multiplier, when we do that, I want you to think R for reverse, and the part goes on the bottom and the total goes on top. Those are for gross rent multiplier problems. You may not see those on the salesperson's exam. You could, but just remember gross rent multiplier, R, I got to reverse my T formula. Okay, that's the way I remember it that way. So I like little shortcuts like that. But I had someone call me yesterday and they asked me about the math and they said, is the math anything to worry about? And I said, don't worry about the math. It's, I just don't have many students who call me and say, man, the math was grueling. They always say, oh gosh, the math wasn't bad at all. It was the other questions. And that's why the digital flashcards are so good at Global Real Estate School. And that's why if you go to Global Real Estate School, I was talking about, you want cheap, or you want to ride in a cheap car, or you want to ride in luxury and get all the bells and whistles you need. You come to Global Real Estate School, right within our module, our player module, our new format I told you about. There's a glossary button, takes you right to the glossary page, and I am adding content and video content like this throughout many of the definitions that you will find there at the glossary, but it's all built into the course module. It is so cool, but it's just why there's more to offer at Global Real Estate School. But the digital flashcards, you can buy those at Global Real Estate School. We have My Real Estate Exam Coach you can get over there. I have audios only. If you just want to purchase those, just go to Global Real Estate School. And I think down in the middle there's something about PSI and Pearson VUE test prep help that you can get there, okay? And I'm going to take this video because I think it turned out pretty good if the audio's good. And we're going to put this, we're updating our Real Estate Math Made Easy course that'll be right inside one of the other extra courses you get by going to globalrealestateschool.com. Hey, tell your friends and your broker and anybody you know, if they want to get a real estate license, go to globalrealestateschool.com. We are not approved in all 50 states, but we're working on it, and we'd love to have you as a student. Hey, as always, thank you for watching this. Would love to have you as a student, or pick up some of our resources to help you pass the test, and I'll be back to do more live streaming soon. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks again for watching. And oh, by the way, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, right? So thank you so much. Have a great day.